Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this Netflix review. It really means the world to me that you guys are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to watch my content. It really does mean the world to me. So if you've clicked on this video, you are 100% aware of what we're going to be talking about because you have seen the title. So this is a video I wanted to make as soon as I finished watching the series. And I've seen a lot of other much larger YouTubers than myself, YouTubers like The Quartering, Yellow Flash, and they all had the exact same issue with the series without even having watched the series. They only watched the trailer and they kept up with the local news surrounding the series, and they were aware of the issue before they even watched the series. That's how prevalent it's become, and I really want to address it in this video. But if you guys haven't watched my original review of the He-Man series, you can do so by going down to the description below or clicking on the little button that just appeared. So let's talk about the feminism issue within Masters of the Universe Revelation. So I'm going to give you a very quick, brief breakdown of the series as a whole. I'm going to let you know right off the bat there are going to be spoilers in this review, or rather Netflix analysis. If you want to watch a spoiler-free review, you can go back to my previous review, but in this one we're definitely going to be tackling spoilers because ultimately there are a lot of character beats or narrative beats within this series that result in situations that I completely disagreed with, but definitely tackle the issue at the heart of this video. But ultimately, the entire marketing campaign around Masters of the Universe Revelations hinged on He-Man. He was in the center of all the posters for all the promotional material. Even in the trailer, he was front and center. He had more screen time than anyone else. Even if you went online to IMDb or Wikipedia or anything like that, the description read that this was going to be the final confrontation between He-Man and Skeletor. Everything was surrounding He-Man, He-Man, He-Man. And the truth of the matter is, he gets killed at the end of the first episode. And that's the truth. Then it becomes Teela's series. Teela is definitely the star of this series. She fills the boots of He-Man as the protagonist of this series. And I have to tell you this, there is nothing wrong with a strong female character. Two of my favorite movies of all time, and this is an exaggeration, I love these movies to deaths. Terminator 1, Terminator 2. Sarah Connor is the protagonist and I love her. There is nothing wrong with having strong female lead characters in a series, but it all depends on how you not only handle your female character, but your male characters that support your female lead. So ultimately, the series is about Teela trying to get back the Sword of Power and bring magic back to Eternia. That's the core crux of the story of this series. And that could really work if all of the characters within the series were treated with respect. But you can see systematically throughout the series, we lose He-Man, and then we also lose Duncan, Man-at-Arms. He doesn't necessarily die or anything, but he's just removed from the narrative and replaced with Roboto, who's his exact clone pretty much. He's a replica of Duncan. So ultimately, in our main core cast, we have got no male characters. We've got Teela, we've got her sidekick. I've honestly forgotten her name at the time being, sorry about that. We've got Evil Lyn joining the party. We've got Orko. And we've got Roboto. We have got no regular men. And I'm not saying that's an issue. I'm not saying it's an issue to not have men be in the core cast. What I am saying is you have taken that male presence, which was an incredibly large part of the original series and the identity of Masters of the Universe as a whole, and you've completely stripped it away. But what you've done is you've lied to your audience about it. You've built your entire campaign around He-Man and you remove him in the very first episode. But then not only do we get a predominantly female cast, we get a female cast at the cost of femininity. And what I mean by that is that Teela, when you look at her in the original series, I'm going to be throwing screenshots up, you can see that this was a woman who was strong and powerful, but she was confident in who she was as a woman. What we have in this new series is Teela, who is ultimately, look at what she looks like now. She has become the stereotypical I'm a strong female character with the short haircut, the buff arms, and everything like that. She has ultimately become an entirely new character who has removed herself from the Teela of the original series. She has lost all of that femininity. Her entire identity has become that of a masculine woman. And that's where I have the issue. we were pretty much teaching young girls that there is an issue with being strong and feminine, and that you have to have manly attributes to be strong and powerful. And that is most definitely not the case. When we look at Teela in the original series, she was always eager to learn, but she was always eager to fight and defend, but she was caring. In this series, we get the exact opposite. Teela is strong, but she's unforgiving and she's aggressive. Those are traits that aren't exactly positive, but are attributed towards masculine characters. And I feel like with this series, they realized, cool, if we want Teela to be strong, then she has to be more masculine. And that is not the case at all. I feel like Teela from the original series could have been a much more engaging protagonist for this series than the Teela that we got, because this Teela feels like the shell of her original version. I'm not going to say that this version of Teela was also a Mary Sue. She does have issues and she does actually have character development, but she has significantly less development than the rest of her cast. How she starts in the second episode, once we've had our time jump, is pretty much how she is in the final episode. She's angry at Adam because he never told her that he was He-Man. And she's angry at the rest of the world because of her circumstances. And in the final episode, she's pretty much just like that. Then we get the actual treatment of Prince Adam himself. We actually get reunited with Prince Adam near the end of the series. But we've realized is that Teela outshines him in every way, shape, and form. She can ride hoverboards better than him. She can complete objectives better than him. When he's not He-Man, she fights better than him. Ultimately, Prince Adam is seen as almost a joke by the end of the series. And when we finally think we're going to see He-Man once again, Prince Adam is going to reunite the swords and become He-Man, he's unceremoniously killed by Skeletor. So we lose He-Man twice in the space of one series. Look, I'm not going to say this is the most feminist TV series in the history of feminist TV series, because we don't have a Mary Sue as a lead. She does have faults, and she does acknowledge that she's got faults. This isn't a situation like Rey, where she gets everything right the first time and she's completely faultless. Teela is aware of her shortcomings, but she's aware of them, but she's refusing to accept them and try to develop and grow. And that can come off as a character that's not enjoyable. And you actually want your lead character to be enjoyable. I'll say that also our other female leads, while they do get more developments, Evelyn became one of my favorite characters, not just because of Lena Headey's awesome voice acting, but because we actually got so much character development from her and her interactions with Orko. But what was great about Evelyn as well, she still had her femininity. She didn't have to look masculine and have massive arms and all of this extra. She was ultimately who she was in the original series. She was feminine, but powerful. She actually balanced that delicate line brilliantly. The biggest issue I actually had with the series as a whole was how the series treated He-Man. He-Man, who this entire Masters of the Universe franchise is built around, he's used in the front and center of all the marketing. But once you have the viewers watching the series, he's treated as an afterthought because Teela becomes the figurehead of the series. And I just have to ask, what is the message we're sending to young boys who watch this series? Cool, you're great, come watch our series, you're awesome. But the moment you watch the series, actually we don't need male characters. We don't need male role models. The few moments and scenes we get with Prince Adam, especially in the later episodes, we can see why he's such a great role model. He's modest, he's kind, he's truthful. These are all attributes you can't actually apply to Teela in this series because she seems to be the exact opposite of what we look for in a good, caring role model. And it's the same with Duncan. Duncan is a father who just loves his daughter, and while he can do things that she disagrees with, his intentions are always to help her, to love her, and protect her. Yet he's removed from the series as well. We spend barely any time with Duncan. He does have a few moments where he returns and it's super cool to see him, but then he's just relegated to the backlines once again. The series is about Teela and the rest of the female cast that surrounds her. And it becomes blatantly obvious that this is definitely the case when, spoiler alert again, by the end of the series, the only other male characters we have in the cast, Orko and Roboto, they're both killed. And while Prince Adam does return at that point, we're sitting here going, every single male character in this series, except for Duncan, has been killed. But the female characters are untouchable and they are leading the charge. What does this say to longtime fans who've been watching this series since the original came out? For 25 years, people have been collecting the toys, people that are dedicating large portions of their life to this series. What message is this sending out? We know you love He-Man, so we are going to give you the exact opposite. Anyway, guys, that's just my analysis of the feminism situation within Masters of the Universe Revelation. I would love to know your guys' thoughts. If you haven't yet, please check out my original review of the series. It would mean the world to me. Guys, I just want to let you know, this is a series you can definitely enjoy. In fact, I really enjoyed large aspects of this series. But the creative decisions, especially around the political pandering, really became a bit much by the end of the series. But guys, thank you so much for watching. You're the best. You are awesome. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And I hope to see you again in another review.